Hi everyone, I'm Manuela with the Rosemary team at CrossCountry Mortgage. Today I'm thrilled to be joined by our team leader, Eric Rosemary, the driving force behind so many of our success stories. Eric has helped countless Florida homebuyers achieve their dreams, and he's here to walk us through one of the most impactful programs for 2025, Hometown Heroes.
Thanks, Manuel. I'm really excited to share this with everybody. I know it's been a little bit of a waiting game. This program has been a game changer for so many families, and with the new funds opening up soon on August 18th, now's the perfect time to get ready and start looking for some buyers that fit into this program.
So here's what we're covering today, what the program is, who qualifies, the benefits, and how realtors and buyers can take advantage of it. Eric, can you give us a backstory on Hometown Heroes?
Yeah, absolutely. Hometown Heroes was created under Florida's Live Local Act in 2023. During that time, Florida dedicated $711 million to housing programs. And for 2025, we've got an extra 50 million in funds, but it's first come, first serve, and it starts on August 18th.
Nice, nice. So what exactly is the program?
So it's a state-funded down payment and closing cost assistance. It's got 5%, it gives up to 5% of the loan amount, up to $35,000 with a minimum of $10,000 in down payment assistance. It's an actual loan. It's a 0% interest loan, deferred second mortgage, something you don't have to repay until you sell, refinance, or move. So it's not something that there's a payment or interest on it. It is there. You do have to pay it back, but there's no payment on it until you sell or move.
So what you're saying is it doesn't amortize and there's not going to be a bill showing up for this or anything like that.
No, not at all. There's no payment, so it's not going to affect your debt to income ratio. You don't have to worry about it until it's time to sell or move.
That's awesome. So what's the mission here?
So simple. It's to help first-time home buyers in certain professions become homeowners.
That's awesome. And we definitely know our hometown heroes need that help.
Yeah.
So who can qualify?
So it's obviously for first-time home buyers, someone who hasn't owned a home in the last 3 years, or actually to clarify, you haven't owned a home in the last 3 years that you've lived in. So you could actually have an investment property that you've never lived in the last 3 years and still qualify. Veterans are exempt from that rule. They do not need to be first-time home buyers, but all employees must work full-time in a qualifying job, meet their income limits, meet the debt to income ratio limits, and have at least a 640 credit score.
Can you give us the 2025 numbers?
So the 2025 income limits were just updated, and here's a closer look at that. So in Palm Beach County, you can make up to $175,350. In Broward, 172,950. And the loan limits, unlike a lot of other down payment assistance programs like SHIP, allow us to follow those FHA loan limits and conventional loan limits, which in all counties in Florida, conventional can go up to 806,500 loan amount. FHA in Palm Beach, Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach County is 654,350. And then in Martin and St. Lucie counties, 596,850. If you're in a different county, just reach out to me and I can let you know those loan limits. But it really is a make sense down payment assistance program that has real income limits for these areas and real loan limits for these areas.
So what's in it for buyers?
So obviously, the down payment assistance helps out with lower cash to close. below market interest rates, fast closings, gift funds, and seller credits can be combined. We've closed these in typically in 21 days or less, and the state waives all deed stamps and tangible tax. So really, people can purchase a property with less than $2,000 out of pocket, and that's including um, covering homeowners insurance and escrows and things like that. It's really a make sense program.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. Are there other benefits to the program?
Like I said, the other benefits to the program are, the $35,000 in down payment assistance. There is no origination fees. There's no discount points. Like I said, there's no doc stamps on the mortgage, no intangible tax. It's good for condos, multi-units, manufactured homes, 0% interest, only repayable when you sell the property. Um, no title fees, no government charges. The title company cannot charge um, anything on that second mortgage. So there's really no cost for that. And then again, we underwrite it right here at CrossCountry Mortgage to make it a streamlined process.
That's awesome. That's some really great benefits that you highlighted there. Now, talking about our realtor partners, how does this help them close more deals?
Well, in this market where it's a little bit slower, it helps open doors for buyers who thought they couldn't afford to purchase. It helps win offers, which with showing stronger financing, and can be a unique selling point when targeting certain professions such as firefighters, teachers. Our kids are just going back to school right now. What better time to talk to the teachers about this program, telling them what you do. Had agents in the past go around to fire departments and drop off donuts, go to police stations and drop off pizza, call your local hospital and provide lunch, and drop our business card and flyers in there. We really can target these qualifying professions who we know have the income. We know their jobs are W-2s. This is a way we really can target these professions. We can do, joint home buyer workshops. I know this webinar today is for realtors only, but we could do uh, seminars together that target buyers. We can do different things on social media, email blast, targeted social media posts. The sky's the limit when you really want to take advantage of this program. And in this market, when we're combating, say, higher rates or the market slowdown, this is a way you could, direct your energy into something that may work to gather new buyers.
Yeah, do you have examples of agents who've used the program successfully?
Like I said, yeah. I've had several agents over the past, not last year, but the year before, that really targeted hometown heroes such as firefighters. We dropped off donuts and pizzas. She targeted specific fire departments, and she went there every single month and dropping things off with her business card. Doesn't have to be expensive, And again, I'm willing to co-market and provide flyers, social media graphics, videos, co-branded events, anything to tailor to your audience.
That's awesome. So, what is the process for buyers?
The process is very simple. It's no different than any other loan with cross country mortgage. It's not like the SHIP program that's put on through the county where they have to approve the loan, and it takes 60 days. We can put these people through fast track. We can close in less than 21 days. We verify the occupation, the income, the credit, all here, and we reserve the funds the minute they get under contract. And with this now only being geared towards hometown heroes, firefighters, nurses, teachers, police officers, veterans, active duty, even childcare workers and daycare workers do qualify. Court officers, they all qualify because it's only to the targeted audience. It's going to last longer than the 3 months or the 2 months it lasted last year. It's going to probably go until the end of the year when funds will finally be depleted.
Wow, that's, I mean, great news for the hometown heroes. Now, what should
Yeah.
agents be doing now?
Well, start going through your past clients, maybe ones that didn't purchase, um, and start, letting them know that the program is out there. A lot of people don't know about the program. I have seen very little inquiries about Hometown Heroes over the past few months. That people just don't realize that it's available for them. Even the agents, it's to me, it's the same agents that call me all the time. Hey, is Hometown Heroes funded? Did they announce it? But out of the 100 or so agents that I work with, I've only gotten a handful of calls. So, guys, this is the time now to start saying to your buyers, if are you in this profession? Do you know anybody in this profession? And start looking to get people pre-approved now and be ready to lock, on that launch day of August 18th. It's only a week away. We could literally get somebody pre-approved today or tomorrow and out looking this weekend for this. So educate your database, go through your database, see who we missed, see who maybe we pre-approved a few months ago that was in one of these professions that may qualify, because the cash needed to close is very, very little on this program.
Is there some scenarios or maybe some breakdowns that you can give us so we can see a
Yeah.
visual of how the money and the finance will work on it?
Yeah, of course. I'm a very visual person too. I need to see, how is this really going to get me zero money in closing costs when every single loan that I've done over the last year has been, $20,000 in closing costs. But bear with me because on my computer it's really small, these numbers. So let me pull this up. So here's some scenarios, and honestly, these are the same scenarios I've been using for the last 2 years. It hasn't changed. We don't know what the rates are going to be until the 18th, so I really can't tell you what the payments are going to be, but the closing costs haven't changed. And this is a scenario in Palm Beach County where the seller pays the title cost. So just keep that in mind for you Broward and Dade County agents. So here's a scenario, conventional, 3% down. And just remember, you can buy a condo with 3% down. That's a misconception that you need 5% or 10 or 20, 25%. We can get away with 3% down as long as it's an approvable condo. So here's an example, $500,000 purchase price, 3% down is 15 grand. The actual closing costs, right? The actual closing costs, which is, remember, there's no deed stamps, there's no intangible tax. That's recording, that's lender fees. There are some lender fees still. My processing and underwriting still is there, even though it's reduced. So the closing costs are only $2,800. Estimated escrows, and insurance, first year's insurance, $5,000. And hometown hero fees are $709. So that gives you a total of $23,510 cash needed to close. We're going to give them 5% of the loan amount, which is $24,250, right? The borrower gets a credit towards principal of $740 towards principal. That would be a principal reduction. And that's obviously, best case scenario. We don't know what taxes or insurance are going to be on a particular property. So that number can fluctuate. But like I said, it could be under $2,000 out of pocket. And then you can go ahead and get them a seller credit to cover that. If we really wanted to in this market, I think the last 3 or 4 deals have gotten 3 to 4% seller credits. Let's fast forward, because conventional condo, FHA, 3.5% down. It's all pretty much the same. The closing costs don't change. The fees don't change. Just it's an extra 0.5% out of pocket. Let's jump down to a VA loan. Right now I got 3 VA loans closing over the next week using bridge loans and alternate type of financing. Let's talk about a veteran who's going to qualify for this. Remember, they don't have to be a first-time home buyer. Same scenario, 500,000 purchase price, same closing costs, same insurance, same hometown hero fees. If they're 100% disabled veteran, they don't have to pay property taxes in any of the counties in Florida. So their cash to close really is just their closing costs, $8,500. Well, they're going to get $25,000 if they did zero down. What happens to that money? Does the state not give them that money because they don't need a down payment? They don't need a closing cost? No, we're gonna give them $16,490 credit towards their principal. So instead of owing $500,000 on their house, they're gonna owe $483,510. That's going to be their down payment, even though it's not required. So they will get at closing, they can get at closing their escrow deposit back. So if they're putting $5,000 or $10,000 down on their contract, they can get that money back at closing. So really an amazing, amazing program, Manuela.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds great. I've
Well,
never
too
heard of
good to
anything
be
like that
true,
before.
right?
Yeah,
Well,
that's what I was about to say.
we've
You know,
been
it's
doing this for 3 years, and it's not too good to be true. It is the best down payment assistance program I have seen ever. Better than better than SHIP. Yes, SHIP gives you $100,000. Well, as we all know, SHIP buyers, they're limited to like a $250,000 property. And in Dade, Broward, Palm Beach, Port St. Lucie, Martin County, where are you finding something for $250,000? You're not. The program doesn't make sense for South Florida. It may make sense up in North Florida where you could buy a single family house for 250,000, but not down here in South Florida. So that's a program that's there, but it's not even
it's almost impossible
it's impossible.
to qualify too because of the very low debt to income ratios that they expect, and then the stringent income limit as well.
Yeah.
On those
And on
programs.
this program, we can go to a 50% debt to income ratio.
Oh, wow.
So if you have over a 680 credit score, your debt ratio is 50%. So you're automatically, you know, the same debt DTI level as conventional. Yes, FHA can go to 57, so we're a little bit cut back on that. And then, as we all know, VA is out there, and they'll go to 80%. So yes, VA and FHA were limited on the DTI a little bit, but quite honestly, we hardly ever go over 50 DTI on anybody because you know they're payment conscious. And then remember, Manuel, this program is reduced rates. So the rates are below market value. So I think they're going to come around 6.25% for government, 6.5% for conventional with no points. Unfortunately, you can't buy down the interest rate and you can't do a temporary buy down on this. But you know, you can't get everything on all these programs.
I mean, it's still a great deal and you don't have to pay it
Yeah.
back, you know, until you sell or refinance. So I don't see, you know, no harm, no foul. It's a great opportunity for those people that wouldn't normally have an opportunity like that.
Yeah. One thing I do want to point out when we're talking about what you can and can't do on the program, because this is a big one, especially for a lot of my clientele. Um, FHA or HUD no longer allows for non-permanent residents. So you have to be a U.S. citizen or a permanent resident to do the FHA. To do conventional, unfortunately, is not the same thing. You could be a non-permanent resident, but we do have to look at your visa classifications because Bayview Financial, who is the or Lakeview, who is the end servicer on this, does have overlays when it comes to different visas as well as asylum asylum holders. So if you're on a um, I think it's a HO8 status or HO8 visa, you're not going to be eligible for the program across the board. Fannie Mae used to allow it, but Fannie Mae no longer does the Hometown Heroes program. It is Freddie Mac.
Oh, okay. Thank you for clarifying that. Now, what are some success stories and wins that you can share with us?
Hmm. Like I said before, it's really zero out of pocket. I think I closed 25 Hometown Heroes uh, loans last year. One is a nurse, like you said, bought a first home with zero out of pocket using the program and getting a seller credit. Without that, she would have needed over, $24,000 in upfront in upfront costs. Had a veteran who put down last year $150,000 out of his money for his down payment because that's what he wanted to do. It was not his first house. It was his second house, but he utilized this program because not only because of the money, but he didn't have to pay the deed stamps. He didn't have to pay the intangible tax. There was no points. There was no fees. The rate made sense for him to do that. He didn't want to buy down the rate, so this was a win-win for him.
Nice. So, what are some misconceptions or myths around the program?
Um, so misconceptions on this program is that people think it's free money. It's not. It's a loan. You're going to pay it back once you sell the home, or you refinance, or you move out, right? So it is a loan, but it's a 0% interest loan. There's no payments associated with it. It's going to get you in the house without any money out of pocket. You're gonna pay it back later on. So that's one of the misconceptions. And then the other one is that the funds are limited. It's on a first come, first served basis. Once the funds are gone, they're gone. It doesn't replenish itself. Now, when we say the funds are gone, and then a month later we may say, hey, there's another 3 million or $2 million. That's because when a contract comes in, we'll lock the loan, we'll register with e-housing, which is the company that puts this on. And then say the the deal falls out because of inspection or because of appraisal or whatever the reason is. If the lender doesn't cancel that loan out right away, once it does get canceled out or the lock expires, then those funds go back into the pool and can be reutilized. So like last year, they would replenish those unused funds every 2 weeks. So it was like on a Tuesday at 10 a.m. They would announce there's $3 million, and every lender and their mother would go and
Mhm.
register somebody's loan. The good thing is when that does happen, we can have you in underwriting. We could be going through the motions. We just didn't register your loan yet. There's no guarantee that it's going to close, but we do know that, the first month after the funds get depleted, that there's going to be some coming available. I'm not one to gamble, so once that goes a month, I'm not gonna take on any more loans with Hometown Heroes because the last thing we want to do is put somebody in a bad situation because we can't reserve the funds.
I mean, that's smart and probably the most considerate thing to do. You don't want to ever promise something and not be able to deliver or set some kind of expectation. But yeah. Now, what is Fast Track all about?
So I mentioned that before. So our fast track program is our way that we can underwrite a borrower before they find a property. So we'll do it TBD. Um, the benefits of this is know that you're approved before you shop. We can make a cash offer even on Hometown Heroes. We can shorten the closing time. We alleviate the stress while under contract. Uh, Compete with cash offers, not so much in this market, but if it's a house that everybody loves, they're still going above ask. They're still, the auction type purchases or the multiple offers. There's zero cost for it. And then if you do this, I will give you a $5,000 cash guarantee to close on time if we don't outpay $5,000 to the seller. So that makes your offer stronger. But by getting that pre-approval in advance or that pre-underwrite in advance gives you a little bit of peace of mind. So it's something that we offer. on every single loan, not just hometown heroes.
Yeah, personally, I love fast track, especially when we're trying to get things done quickly and we want to make sure there's no hiccups down the line. It's always
Yeah.
nice to have
We just need the
somebody.
support. We need the support of the agents to do that, because a lot of times the borrowers don't want to give us the documents. Now, we don't need the assets, but we want the income docs and everything else so that we can get it in there. And there's only a few documents they need to sign. There's not, you're not saying you're going with us. You're
Right.
not, you're not saying that you're committing to us. It's us giving you peace of mind.
Yeah, the beauty of it is really once they go under contract, we don't really need anything else from them. It's just the property that we have to underwrite and make sure qualifies.
Appraisal, title, and insurance, and we're ready to close.
Ready to rock and
Any more
roll.
conditions?
Perfect. So can you tell us a little about the CCM line of duty death benefit?
Yeah, so this is something that CrossCountry Mortgage does for our first responders. Um, we will so basically it's a life insurance policy that covers your mortgage. I have somebody closing right now that I offered this to. He's the fire chief in Palm Beach County, and this gives him and his family a peace of mind. Where God forbid you die in the line of duty, we will at Cross Country Mortgage pay off your loan up to, I think it's 600, and I was looking it up, but I didn't have time to find out the exact amount. I think it's up to $650,000. Um, so anytime I see a first responder, whether it's on Hometown Heroes or a VA loan or whatever, we will offer this. There's a $350 registration fee, and there it is, up to $525,000 that will cover their mortgage and pay it off. God forbid they pass away from something involving the line of duty. And as you can see there, it even is not just, hey, you were not shot or in a car accident, but is a heart attack or stroke as well. So this is just really an added benefit for peace of mind to our hardworking first responders.
Yeah, that's a great benefit. I haven't heard of any other companies offering something like that. I love that.
No.
Yeah. So wrap it up for us. What steps should our partners take next?
So yeah, so I again I review the occupation list. We'll post that in the chat, or I'll get it out to you guys. Look at your database, look at who you have for qualifying clients. Even if they're not qualifying, call them and say, hey, who do you know? Um, Find out if they know somebody in a qualifying a career field, and then call us to plan a co-marketing strategy. Let's tackle this together, whether it's doing a lunch and learn at a school or a fire station, or even a clinic or dental office, anywhere. Come to me. I'm always willing to co-market on anything, even if it's something as simple as let's get some flyers, uh, and email them out. I could definitely help with that. There's many flyers that we offer in Total Expert. Everybody on this call should have access to Total Expert. If you don't, send me an email and I'll get Helen to make sure that you guys are signed up. I'm sure you guys have gotten the emails, but you like to ignore them until you need them. So let's get you guys signed up with Total Expert, so that we can help market your properties as well as market to potential buyers. What? List reports. Well, this gives them the flyers. Helen's in here too, so she's listening to the call.
Yeah, love it. Thank you, Eric. Now we would like to open the conversation to questions that everybody may have. Let's take a look in the chat and see if anything came up. And also in the chat, I'm going to put the link to the qualifying or eligible occupations. Now,
Yeah.
remember the list, it's basically not limited to. So there may be, like I don't think I saw CNAs on the list and stuff, but
That falls under it. But you can, if you ever have a question about
please reach out.
who qualifies, who doesn't, I have a very good relationship with Charles White over at eHousing, who is the program administrator, and he usually gets back to me within a few hours. So I have in the past emailed him, hey, can we make this profession work? And if he says yes, my underwriter will follow. So it's not like, oh, he says yes, and then the underwriter says no. No, that's not the way it works. If he says yes, he's God in this case. Um, I pulled up some program highlights. I just want to go over one more time because I know we didn't really dive into the program highlights. Let's just go over it. 640 minimum credit score. Doesn't mean that we can go to a 50 DTI with a 640, but it does allow for 50 DTIs. We talked about what a first-time home buyer is. You can open an investment property. Veterans, active duty are exempt from first-time home buyer requirement, but a veteran must work in an eligible field. They can't be solely a veteran and working at Taco Bell and qualify. And they must work in a Florida based company. And we do allow for non-occupant co-borrowers. So I met with a nurse yesterday. She's not a first-time home buyer, but her daughter is, and she's a nurse, and we're able to do that. But the co-signer does not make you eligible for the program if the co-signer is a nurse and you are not. So just keep that in mind. Let's skip down to 5% down for 2 to 4 units. So if you have somebody who wants to buy a duplex, we can not only use the income from the one side of the unit to qualify for this program, but we do allow with as little as 5% down. And then the program is not based on household income. So if it's a nurse is the wife and she makes $120,000 a year and the husband makes $300,000 a year, it doesn't make them ineligible as long as the husband does not go on the loan or we don't use his income. So it does not include other occupants' income like the SHIP program does. So keep that in mind.
Yeah, so do we have any questions from anybody out there with us? Well, I guess that kind of wraps it up. Did you have any other comments you wanted to share, Eric?
No, I that's really it. Hold on. I don't know. I don't know if anybody else has any questions here. Did you look in the chat?
Yeah, I'm in the chat right now. No question. So I think we basically did a good job. So just remember, everything opens up on the 18th. Go through your list, find your past clients who may fall in the category of these positions and employments. And we would love to get them started, pre-approve them again, update pre-approvals if need be. We don't anticipate that the funds will go out as quickly, but there's really no guessing how long they'll be available for. So the sooner we can get them out there and pre-approved or maybe through the fast track program, I think the better for them, so we don't set some kind of false expectation that they have till the end of the year, because we never really know. But we're here. Any questions that you may have, feel free, message Eric. Rosemary team is
Yeah,
always
Anna,
here, happy to help.
can we get a copy of the slides, Damien? Yeah, I'll have Helen send that out to the whole people. And then as far as email blasts or posts on Instagram, I can help you with any co-marketing posts. If you send over what information you want on there, Helen and I can draft something up. We do have co-branded flyers already. So if you just send Helen or I an email that you want one of the flyers for Hometown Heroes, we can download it for you and send it over to you as we normally do with all the other flyers. But yeah, do it. Get to your database. That's the key.
That is the key. Well, thank you, Eric, and thank you everybody that's joined us today. Again, if you have any questions in the future, please do not hesitate to reach out. We are happy to help always.
Hope everybody liked the way we did this little Q&A session. We are moving. First off, if you haven't met Manuela, she is my new loan manager. Manuela has worked with me for 5 years.
5 years.
6 years, yeah. She worked with me for 6 years.
Started in the middle of COVID.
Yep. And she's and bilingual as well.
Yep.
So just reach out to either of us. We are moving our office um to 951 Yamato at the end of the month. In that building, there is a large training room that I can rent out, which is going to be really great. So we're going to be putting on monthly, semi-monthly, or bi-monthly trainings. I'm going to try to do them monthly. The next one's going to be sometime in September. Once I get in there, I can reserve the room. And I'm going to be having Anthony Cucciaraldo, as you all know. I have a dedicated appraiser that I work with. I've worked with him for 23 years. A lot of you have already met him because he's done a lot of my appraisals. I'm going to have him in there doing a Q&A live. So we'll have you everybody in the new office. We'll have lunch. We'll have Q&A with Anthony, and he's a great resource for you all. Even if I'm not involved, and you're doing a cash offer, you want to get an idea of what something is going to go for. He's a wealth of knowledge. So just look out for that next training that we're going to put on, and let me know if you need anything. I'm going to be the weekend warrior this weekend, so reach out to me if you have any questions. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.